Since they held only enough oil and supplies to last for 18 to 36 months, the leaders had to determine which course to adopt and how best to implement it. The Japanese military then had to settle a dispute between the army and navy over the direction of a possible attack. The army wanted to mount an invasion to the north against longtime enemy Russia. The navy, needing a continuous supply of oil to fuel the fleet, hoped to swing southward toward the oil-rich Dutch East Indies. When the German army pushed deep into the Soviet Union and tied up millions of Stalin's forces, the Japanese government decided that they had enough time to hit south, consolidate their new possessions, and still be ready for a spring 1942 offensive against the Soviet Union. The plan was to sweep down the Malay Peninsula and attack Hong Kong, Malaya, Burma, Singapore, and the Dutch East Indies, while other segments invaded American forces in the Philippines. Japan assumed that the only military force of significance in the Pacific, the American Pacific Fleet stationed at Pearl Harbor, would steam toward the relief of the soldiers fighting in the Philippines. The Japanese Navy planned to station submarines along the route to attack as the U.S. Navy passed by, then destroy the remnants in the Philippines area in a great naval slugfest between opposing battleships. Japanese military leaders never intended to completely subdue the American foe. Instead, they hoped to set up such a potent defensive perimeter around their new acquisitions that, rather than engage in a protracted Pacific struggle at a time when Hitler posed a serious threat, the U.S. would negotiate for peace. As Tojo said, America may be enraged for a while, but later she will come to understand. Japan believed she had the necessary military might to pull off such a complex operation spread out over long distances, about 350,000 British, American and Australian troops, many poorly trained manned outposts in the Pacific. Some 90 warships and 1,000 aircraft supported them. Japan could count on 2.4 million well-trained troops, many of whom had been battle-tested, supported by 7,500 aircraft and 230 warships. Admiral Isoroku Yamamoto, however, insisted that the only hope of victory against an industrial giant such as the United States lay in a successful, preemptive strike at the U.S. Pacific Fleet anchored at Pearl Harbor in Hawaii. Yamamoto prevailed, and on Sunday, December 7, 1941, Japanese aircraft fell upon the unsuspecting fleet at Pearl Harbor and hit other Navy and Army Air Corps installations on the island of Oahu, inflicting tremendous damage and loss of life. The fighting capability of the U.S. Armed Forces in the Pacific was crippled. On December 8th in Washington, D.C., in words that have resonated through the years, Roosevelt asked Congress to declare war on Japan.